Hi, I'm Jeff Gould. Have you ever had a dream like this? So it's Monday, and the boss calls you in, and you sit down, and he said, "You got a minute?" Okay, uh-oh. And he says, "Hey, how long have you worked here again?" And he says, What? You're still here? We're paying you this? Get out." And you wake up and go, "Oh." It's called the Sunday Scaries because people are dreading Monday. It's a big enough thing that people talk about it. It's called Imposter Syndrome. Is it a real thing? Well, yes, sure it is. Is it bigger than it should be? It depends on the person. Let's talk about Pat, for example. By the way, my name's Jeff Gould. We're trying to help you find significance. You're watching this however it's being delivered to you. By the first of the year, we're going to renovate all of this stuff, move it around, change it, figure out how it's going to be delivered to you better, short term, long form, however we're working on it. Like and subscribe, comment, and come along for a ride because it's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, now back to Pat. So Pat is a kid who has an affinity for people, so she gets a job at a local bank as a bank teller for the summer. And then when she goes to college, you said, well, maybe you could be an intern. And she becomes an intern. And then after school, she gets offered a job because one of the regular tellers quits all of a sudden. So she is an interim teller. And then she becomes a teller. And then her manager leaves. So she becomes an interim manager. And then there's a turnover at the ownership level. And all of a sudden she's a manager. And then the bank gets bought. And now she's a regular manager over other managers. And she feels like an imposter. How did I get here? What am I even doing? She sits in meetings and they just give report after report, tons of data. Okay, she's okay at data, but she got into it because she liked people. What in the world is she doing here? Well, it's called imposter syndrome. And sometimes you hear people say, I'm climbing the ladder and realized it's propped against the wrong building. Well, as Jim Riefenberger and I would talk about when we do our significance masterclass, let's just slow things down and start with figuring out who God made you to be. Well, Pat is a caregiver. She's a caretaker. She likes taking care of people. This is her natural qualities. And once she figures out that that's really what she was made to do, that gives her clarity. Kind of like when you go to the shopping mall and you find that little kiosk that says you are here. Well, once you know you're there, it's easier to navigate around the mall, right? So now she knows where she's supposed to go. And this gives her a certain amount of energy. And then that gives her the steps she needs to find fulfillment. Now, this is what that's going to look like for her. You see, it's not like she wasted her talents. It's just that her talents need to be slightly adjusted. She talks to Jim and figures out that, data is what she's okay at, but really there are better positions in the company, some of which they have been seeking. They've been looking for people to fill these positions. And so he says, well, why don't you just contact your boss? Uh-oh. Well, see, the boss is one of these intimidating guys who is short and quick-tempered. Okay. What Pat needs is a little bit of coaching and a little bit of confidence. And this is what we do, right? It doesn't take long just to say, write an email. Can we meet in the next 10 days? I have an idea that could be great for the bank. You send that email, you suck it up, and then you walk in and you state your case, how you would be better off in another position in the bank. That would make you better at your job, which would make you a better employee, which would make them feel better about having you there. Where is that losing in any of the equation? Part of the job you're trying to do is to find the best version of yourself. And whether you got there by accident, whether you got there by hard work, whether you feel like you're competent or feel like you are an imposter, there is still a great road ahead of you. You just need to have the confidence to seek and find it. That's called finding significance, and that is what we're all about. Now, yes, of course, we have the master course. We've been talking about that, but I don't care how you find it. I just want to make sure that you are seeking and finding it. Now, maybe you have all the tools necessary, but maybe what you need is somebody in your corner, like a coach, saying, you can do this. And maybe the guy you're looking for is right here. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My name is Jeff Gould for Jim Riefenberger. If you have any questions, this is the email address, jeff@ilikethatstory.net. Comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Until that time, God bless.